This episode of Checking In With is sponsored by Pizza Packet. Enjoyed by millions nationwide, Pizza Packet provides portion-controlled, prepackaged spice and Parmesan packets. Made with only premium quality ingredients, Pizza Packet is the most convenient and most cost-effective way to provide added value to your customers. During these challenging times, every penny counts. Pizza Packet saves you time and money and is a much more hygienic and sanitary option over dirty shakers. Check out pizzapacket.com for all of your packaging needs.
Welcome to a fresh new episode of Checking In. I'm Josh Keown, along with Pizza Today executive editor Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hello, how are you?
I am super excited about our guest today. They are the brilliant minds behind Square Pie Guys in San Francisco, California. No, they are. And Marc Schechter and Denise Stoller. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, guys.
Hey, so why don't you just kind of fill us in? What's happening right now with Square Pie Guys?
Right now, we just came off of a pretty neat little promotion for National Pepperoni Pizza Day yesterday.
Nice.
And it's cool to see that we can send promos to our guests and our email lists and our Instagram, and people respond right away. But also there's always the thought, and maybe on this podcast, you two can answer it for me. Who comes up with these holidays and why?
I don't know who came up with Pepperoni Pizza Day. I can tell you that Pizza Today is behind National Pizza Month in October. That is us.
Okay.
But I
You
will
can blame
say,
us for that one. So
So you guys came up with that one?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
National
us.
Pizza Month. Yeah.
Our founder was National Pizza Month. Yeah.
This is a debate because there's like 7 different websites that track all of these holidays, but none of them have a complete list.
Yeah.
So like, I know that National Sausage Pizza Day is next month. I didn't know it was National Pizza Month. And
I didn't even know there was a National Sausage Pizza Day.
We did that promo with Caviar for Pizza Month in October last year. And I was like, is that a thing? Did Caviar make that up? So thank you guys for Pizza Month.
Danny's got a better memory than me.
Yeah. Well, I will say, as far as for Pepperoni Pizza Day, I was drooling over your pepperoni earlier today. It's just beautiful pepperoni.
Well, first of all, we need to let the audience know, if you're not following these guys on Instagram, you should ASAP. Their website and their Instagram are so dialed in and so tight. And do you guys, I mean, it's a little off subject here, but I just wanted to know personally, do you guys have a marketing company doing that, or are you guys in charge of that? How's that going on?
It's all us. We're scrappy. You know, Mark's got a background in sales, and I think a long time ago he got a bachelor's degree in marketing, but certainly nothing he'd ever done professionally.
No.
And my restaurant's in restaurants, and I think we just like to see what the smarter people in the space are doing and try to replicate it ourselves. We've certainly gotten some help from friends in exchange for pizza that have a little bit more subject matter knowledge, and then just a little bit of trial and error. I know sort of maybe Mark wants to talk about this more with the Instagram, but as we've matured, we've started expanding who we work with. But from the beginning, it was Mark and I and the friend of Mark's with free pizza in exchange for designing a menu. And it's kind of spiraled out of control from there. So,
yeah. I guess I don't want to say you would be surprised, but you can barter a lot of things for pizza, apparently. So that's and if you're in a city like San Francisco where, you know, technology and tech companies bring in so much talent around the design and marketing side of things, you know, it kind of, I don't want to say it's natural, but we're lucky enough to have friends that do have all that expertise, and we're like, here's a pizza, give us your knowledge, you know. So, and they were like, can I give you more knowledge? And we're like, we don't want to give you so much for pizza. So but
one person we're never going to pay back. We have such a large liability of pizza. We'll never
seriously. And like they're kind enough not to abuse it, but they could literally call us and be like, I want all this pizza today, and we'd be
I
like,
want a week's worth of pizza. We're like,
yeah,
okay.
That's the deal, I guess. Yeah, you know, I guess the real kind of backstory, if I had to like pin it down, I got into making pizza at home because of all the awesome pizza restaurants and pizzaiolos on Instagram. So just like being dialed into what everyone was doing on Instagram sort of inspired me to just say, hey, this is what a pizza Instagram looks like. And then as I started to kind of think about our business and doing it more professionally, you start just looking at the high level stats, like pizza is one of the most photographed foods on the internet, and how many shares pizza pictures get every year on IG and Facebook. So it once you know all that, it adds up, you know, it makes sense.
It's the easiest Instagram page I've ever run is Pizza Today's. It's like, just throw a picture of pizza. You're going to followers.
It's gold.
And pizza usually looks delicious. There's like pools of grease, there's caramelized cheese, there's puffy crust. So.
Well,
so
and
go ahead.
Sorry, good. And there's this Detroit style, which is just a gorgeous pie. What you guys have going on? Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, coming up with your specific recipe and kind of how you came up with that signature pie that you've kind of indoctrinated San Francisco with now?
I mean, I think it started with Marc's pop-up. Marc had a round pizza pop-up prior to when we launched Square Pie Guys, and he'd done at least one Detroit style pizza event at the request of a client. Someone came to him and said, "Hey, I want Detroit style pizza at my wedding." And he was like, "Well, will you buy the pans for me?" And in those days, they said yes. So pre-COVID, everyone wanted to do things. So for Marc, and that's how he kind of like got started in Detroit style pizza. And then when we started the pop-up, I think Marc just took the dough recipe he had been making and started putting it in pans. And we played around at the test kitchen I worked at with some various like topping combinations and the cheeses. And then one day we kind of realized that we'd been par baking. We didn't really like the way they were coming out. So we tried to bake it from raw, and it was like, okay, this is what we want. This is like the crispy cheese. This is kind of like got like the gooey middle, like the fluffy bottom, or the crispy bottom, fluffy middle. So it sort of evolved over time, but it was a lot of kind of 3 or 4 months of tinkering. And then when we started working on the new store, you know, all of a sudden we went from Marc hand mixing dough or using like a small mixer 3 or 4 days before we were ready for service to like, oh crap, we're making so much pizza, we got to make it the morning of, and how do we make that quality the same? So, you know, it's just been kind of an iteration after iteration as we've gone through it, and we've learned a lot along the way.
Well, one of the things I actually did notice on your Instagram was back in March, Marc, you put out a video talking about the COVID Friday nights and how crazy it was. And I really respected that video. I loved it. You know, the communication right there with your customers. So since then, how has the process moved along?
It's moved along a lot better, and I put a lot of credit on our general manager, who we were able to hire in that period of time for coming up with systems. And like, I'm looking off to my left here, maybe screen right. There's our security camera, so I can see the front. And she has these, you know, the little blocks stand here 6 feet apart, keeping the line spacing, coming up with ways to make sure that we throttle the orders with enough time so that the food is ready before the customer or before the third-party delivery driver is here. Just doing that. But I think in the very beginning, we just had no, you know, March, April, there was so much uncertainty. It was really hard to plan for what ended up being a really high volume of sales on the weekend nights. And once we'd realized, oh shit, we're getting, pardon my French, oh crap, we're getting, you know, slammed. We couldn't throttle in time. So that's what caused that. And I mean, that video was genuine. I was just feeling a lot of the pain and the concern, and especially, again, you know, now we know a little more. I think people are definitely more disciplined about wearing their masks and sanitizing their hands. But even in the beginning, folks were, you know, there was a lot of people coming up with no mask, and the regulation in California wasn't here about wearing your mask or requiring it. So it was just a lot of, it was scary. It was hard to manage. So just, I don't know. I just was feeling all the emotions that night, and just felt like putting that out there.
That's really cool. I really respect that. Definitely that video that you put out. So what's the situation right now? Where are you guys at as far as restrictions and kind of, you know, your operations right now?
So California has started a phase of reopening. I was hearing on the radio this morning that they might be rolling it back in certain counties because we've seen another increase in cases. But I think not dissimilar from a lot of your listeners or subscribers, you know, pizza has held on pretty well throughout the pandemic. And even though we haven't had dine-in since the second week of March, We kind of beat the government regulation by a couple days. We really haven't seen a huge hit to our sales. If anything, we've seen some amazing nights that have broken prior records, which is easy to do when it's your first year of operation, but nonetheless, we've still seen some pretty cool numbers come out of it. And so we're sitting in this place where our staff are safe. Like, there's no concern other than interacting through an acrylic window that someone might not wear a mask and cough on our team and get them sick. We've managed to minimize a lot of risk for them. And because of the volume that we're doing, we're also we have a lot of space to work in the restaurant because there's no guests there. And so we have this kind of like, I wouldn't say it's an easy decision because it's certainly a beautiful thing to interact with folks at your restaurant and see them engage with your food. At the same time, like, our business is healthy, our team is healthy, and we can use the space that would otherwise be going to like a miniature amount of dine-in capacity. So I think right now what we're saying is let's wait. Let's see how we keep doing. Like, we kind of like this setup. We like that our team can come to work and be insulated. And, you know, as we're kind of going into the new year, we're potentially maybe working on a new space. I won't reveal anything just yet, but you guys can hear about it once we finish that up. You know, we're looking at spaces that might have outdoor dining that we could do in kind of a modified manner. So our team can still be safe, but we can have some of that more experiential. So that's kind of how we're looking at it.
Well, speaking of all that extra room, you guys started a ghost kitchen concept, right? With hot chicken sandwiches?
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
This is the logo for it. This is the mug.
Hetchy's Hot? Is that how you pronounce it?
I just happen to have this here. Hetchy's Hot.
That's awesome. So how did that come about, and like how have you worked it into the current restaurant?
I'm just laughing at you, Danny. Yeah, why don't you tell them as you drink, sip from it every, like, do like a NASCAR driver drinking his Coke after the race.
Incorporates our positioning. No, you know, honestly, like, we to Mark's point about where we are, I think we like the fact that we're in San Francisco. It's a crazy place to open a first-time restaurant. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, like, we've kind of seen ourselves internally as like a startup in a way. And so that means that we like to take things from that world, like the way we look at marketing, the way we look at interacting with our guests, the way that, like, from day one we had online ordering. I basically spend most of my day daydreaming about technological solutions for, like, as we inevitably scale, to make sure our team has all the tools they need without me having to be like, this is how much cheese you need for one night, just order another case of cheese. Which, by the way, I did order on Wednesday. We almost ran out this weekend, so I'll take the day for that. Well, that being said, like, there's a lot happening in the space with the food tech world, and you hear a lot about virtual brands, and we're very focused on square pie guys. And when we had guests in store, it really never made sense. But when we effectively became a delivery only kitchen or a ghost kitchen, it seemed like an opportunity to try to flex that skill set a little bit, stand up a brand. And then also, you know, with COVID, we didn't know where we were going to be. We saw some declining sales that first couple of weeks of March. We were like just coming up into 9 months. We didn't really know what the spring was going to look like. We'd open in July. And so it was kind of a hedge, like, hey, at the very least, we can pay our team to help us stand up this new brand. And, like, if it takes off, it'll keep paying our salaries. If not, like, we'll learn a lot about it. Fortunately for us, you know, pizza's held strong. But that was kind of the whole point of it. And then as far as working into the operations, I mean, we've had a chicken sandwich and a burger from the day that we opened. And what we've seen is that, like many pizza places, like the subs, the like kind of like weird antipastis, it mixes really low. Like 80% of what we sell is pizza, 40% of everything we sell is our pepperoni pizza. So it's like, it's an easy world to see, why do you even have that on your menu? And when we kind of created this separate brand, Mark talks about this a lot, what we saw was this like increase in the mix of those sandwiches. So my burger buns vendor who sold me like 10 bags a week is now selling us 100 bags a week, and they like us a lot better, and I can call them and complain a little bit easier. So I'm happy about it.
So let's talk about your employees there. You know, what's the culture and morale like right now? You know, you're able to keep them safe. You know, how's it going with your employees?
You know, I think it's amazing. Like we've had a couple. You know, we took our going back to like COVID regulations. Our city in June. Well, maybe this was COVID related. Maybe this is more social political. But we had a curfew when there were all the protests in June. And we decided that week was a good week. We had, since we opened the restaurant, we had planned to redo the floors. So we had to close down for a week to redo the floors, and we called all the staff in to help us take all the, equipment off the line. And it was kind of like one big staff party, one big staff appreciation day. And we thought people were going to be like, man, I don't want to do all this unhooking of our equipment and moving it. They're all like jazzed and happy and having fun with each other. And it's just, we've seen our team and our culture and the camaraderie really just amp up in this period of time. And I think a lot of that, to Danny's point, does have to do with us not having guests in the restaurant in a weird way, because they're not having to hide and like be, not that people who work in restaurants are different people, but you treat a guest differently. Your demeanor is different when the guests are in the restaurant. When it's just you guys, it's kind of one big family. And I think that really has, there's been a real meld, and they've developed this camaraderie. It's kind of awesome to see.
For those of you who haven't seen our restaurant, I mean, it's a kitchen with a dining room, like with tables inside of it. There's no back of the house. The only place you're really out of sight is in the walk-in or the bathroom. Even the dish pit has windows on two sides, no curtain on the doors. And so, when we would get busy on Friday nights and things got a little tense, as they do on any restaurant, let alone a first-time restaurant getting busier than it expected, our team had to really hold their composure, because they would literally be 2 feet from a full table of guests watching that happen. And so, especially during COVID, I think it's been nice that they've had that separation and can kind of bond that way. And, it's kind of fun to come in before we open and watch our prep crew pushing out dough in the pans on the tables that used to hold people. Now it's just like it exists to expedite to-go food and to be used as a prep station. So, I don't know, it makes me happy. Every time I see our restaurant like doing what it's doing, repurposed, I get a little misty-eyed about it.
I love that. That's awesome. Because really quickly we're going to be shooting into 2021. Besides the possibility of growth that you're not ready to talk about, what else are you looking forward to coming into this next year? Hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot better year than 20.
Yeah.
Who knows? The verdict's out on, right? Like,
we're day to day.
We can all hope, but I mean,
day to day.
I hope California doesn't stay on fire for the whole year.
Oh my God.
Well, there's something immediate that actually Mark and I will be turning our attention to in a couple hours, which is next Monday we roll out our fall menu, including an incredibly Instagrammable oozy egg that we've tested and knock on wood should deliver still oozy. So keep watching our Instagram for positive or negative reinforcement of that particular ideal. And then Mark's also working on some really cool stuff for the holidays. You want to talk about some of that?
Yeah. So we're, I think the high level, like, we're just looking forward to just continuing to refine all the rough edges of our business. That's like the big thing for 2021. I guess all you could hope for in like year 2 of a restaurant. But what that means is like things like actually having a really dialed, holiday retail package. So like we're working with, I keep wanting to call them, I always forget, I think it's Hadley and Bennett, which is like the famous apron company, on some custom aprons that we can sell nationwide. We're working with Lloyd Pans on a custom branded Square Pie Guys pan that will also ship nationwide and have that as, you get your Lloyd pan, you get your recipe from Square Pie Guys. It comes with our flour. It all comes in one box. And then Danny and I are still spitballing the idea, but either we'll have like a QR code you can scan that will take you to a YouTube video of me and Danny showing you how to make the dough, or just a written recipe. But something like that you can take home and bring us into your house for the holidays. But the real offshoot of that too is as our team is making our Caesar dressing. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that.
It's all good.
No, I like it.
But it's distracting me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, those sales will go to support a lot of the causes that we're fighting for here. Black Lives Matter, trying to support the wildfires, trying to help with the food insecurity issue that's really gotten a lot worse, especially in the Bay Area, because of COVID, because of people losing their jobs. So just trying to make sure, because we really do want to make sure that we can use our platform not just to accelerate our own careers, not just to advance the people who work for us or our team, but also to like push the things we believe in and think that everyone deserves a right to. And for a while we had just been like, we'd raised some money in June, we sold some merch in July, but since then, we really haven't nailed like what that is that we're doing. So that's kind of the thought, do something cool for the holidays, also give back and grow the brand. So that's something that we're looking forward to.
Well, you gentlemen have been doing an amazing job in just the year that you've been around. So, give yourself a pat on the back on that. So, and if we ever get to travel again, we'd love to come out and see you.
Yes, absolutely.
or just buy one of those pans,
Yeah, we can always do that.
We can do that. We know the
I
way.
gotta always sell. I can't help myself.
I love it. Well, we'll try your recipe. Don't you worry about that.
Absolutely. We have a test kitchen for that. We have a whole test kitchen for that.
That's right. Well, guys, I think we will go ahead and let you go. I know you're getting ready to start up your lunch and getting ready to get rolling. So thank you so much for taking some time this morning to talk to us. And, best of luck for you entering year 2 of the restaurant.
Thanks, Denise.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. You guys take care.
Thanks, guys. See
Bye,
ya.
guys.